I am living so far in the future right now that by the time you actually see this video, I won't even live in this apartment anymore. Because now we live here. We're finally living more than just part-time at our house. Our closing happened back in January, but don't get me started though, because what should have happened on the 8th ended up not happening until the 30th of January. We had a whopping 3 whole days after that to get things done for not only our personal comfort and safety, but actual things that our insurance company required that we do within just a few days of closing. But for our personal comfort, it also meant buying a mattress because our air mattress died in the middle of the first night that we spent here. So we did end up going out and getting a mattress, one we would have eventually bought once we were like having guests here anyway. So it totally worked out, but it was an added expense and an added thing that we had to go and do that we just didn't plan for. Not to mention, we did new lock sets, foam for winterizing, and new air filters as well. Then Mr CCDIY and I took off for much sunnier and frankly, much hotter climbs in Arizona. We were on the road to go live in our patio home community that we rented in Tucson for pretty much the entire winter. Early into our trip, I spent about 5 weeks doing some painting work and actually other construction work for my family who live in Tucson. 2 separate bathrooms, but 2 very different vibes using the color green. I actually didn't film any of the work. I only took still shots because I wasn't planning on really sharing that as like projects or anything. But here are some of those still shots so you can get a feel for like the before and after of some of the things that I did. After that, I spent pretty much the rest of the time that we were out in the Southwest working on putting the finishing touches on the first draft of my upcoming essay collection. That book is due to drop on September 1st, 2026, unless, of course, you are subscribed to my newsletter. I will link all of the information for my newsletter, titled Consistently Inconsistent, because, hi, it's me. I'll link all of that down in the description or the more area or whatever below, because if you subscribe to the newsletter, you're going to get early access and early information on everything that's happening with this book and my entire writing life. So if you're into following artists and our entire journey and all the things that we do, etc., then you can check that out. Sign up for the newsletter. That way you're going to get all of the upcoming updates and information on my writing life. But that ended our Arizona excursion for 2026, and once we got home, we had weeks worth of work to do in order to actually just get into our new place. You know, not only cleaning the house because, oh boy, and you'll hear in a second why, but also we had to do some construction and destruction of a bunch of stuff. Tons of small projects. We did as much as we could to get the place cleaned and freshened up before we did our true move-in. The former owner was a smoker, so unfortunately it took us some elbow grease, not to mention like numerous sanitizing methods, but mostly just like gallons of vinegar. Mr. CCDIY changed out all of the outlets and switches in the house, in both sides, the garage and our house. And he did all fresh new outlets and switches. He did some GFCIs. And while he was doing all of that, I took some stock of what furniture items that our seller actually left behind. Yeah, there's a lot of furniture that they left behind. I actually had to do a couple of like nothing burger clean and use projects on some of the furniture pieces that the seller had left behind, mostly because we hadn't truly moved in yet. We were split, living between the apartment and the house, and until we could get a moving truck, we couldn't get any of our big stuff, like sofas. It turned out we were pretty happy they left a ton of furniture behind because we were able to utilize it while we were in that like transition phase. And it wasn't all bad, it just, you know, smelled like smoke, but I can either refinish it because, hi, welcome to Copper Cactus DIY. In case you didn't know, I'm Jen and I refinish furniture. I like to paint, I like to faux, I like to do decorative painting, and because this seller left 13 pieces behind, yeah, I'm gonna be busy for like a while. And if there are pieces that are just deemed like not able for me to do anything with, I will probably either sell them at a yard sale or just pop them out on Facebook Marketplace soon. Which brings me to my big announcement. So this is kind of two-parter-ish. First, I'm not planning to follow a set posting schedule anymore. For a long time, I posted on Saturday mornings, weekly at that, but I just can't guarantee that level of involvement now. Not with everything that's going on with the house and my work, which brings me to the second-ish part of all of this, and that is my writing career. I am taking a huge turn towards writing again, and I am actually at some stage of the process, the publishing process, from conceptualization all the way through publishing and release. I am at some stage of that process with 12 titles right now. 5 of those are actively growing and or completed manuscripts. 2 of those are fully outlined to soon become fully documented manuscript drafts, and the rest are in various stages of like scribbled notes or stories in journals or things that I typed up years ago that I've got in like a box printed out. I'm itching to get started on all 12 of them, but I took a really good long hard assessment at what I do for a living and my job, and it means that I'm going to have to cut back on something in order to put writing first on that front burner, as they say. And the thing that is going to have to take a back seat is video editing. I am semi-retiring from furniture refinishing right now, at least until the house and the workshop are in a stage where I can use them to like do all of those projects again. That might take a while, and I completely understand if you want to unsubscribe, but if you are willing to stick around and stick through it, I have some seriously fun stuff coming up in the summer and the fall of 2026. The video style might change a little bit, and I might have to like cut back on some editing tricks and things that took me like a lot longer to actually produce the video content for all of you, but the projects themselves are still going to be super fun, and like all this meanness is still going to be here on the channel, so I'm not going anywhere. But I guess that's pretty much about it. So welcome back to the Northeast here, right? There's no way this is real. There's no way this is real. I cannot wait to connect with all of you peeps again really soon, so I hope you are having the best spring, and it leads into the most awesome summer ever. I will be back soon with another update, but until that time, later peeps!